I gotta hit a couple buttons to refresh a couple
Many
things.
talents is the word.
We try. Invite some people up here on stage. Inviting some people up here. Art to Act official. If you want a link in, I sent a link into our Twitter DMs, and you can come in and join it visually if you want. If not, you're cool to do it just right here on Spaces.
I'm here. What's up?
Awesome. How are you?
Feeling great. How about you?
Wonderful. It's morning here in Chicago. So we're having another international Web3 NFT experience here in the Novoverse. And we just setting the stage here and inviting a couple friends up. I got to get the Novoverse up and running. Novoverse is in Decentraland. You can hop into Decentraland and go there. It's 2369 in Decentraland. There is a link in the tweets, and I'm also gonna pin up a tweet here. You can watch all of this. How this is kind of run is this is a very visual space, and why not have a very visual space with video of actually what we're looking at. So up on the pinned tweet up above is Paris Shilton NFT, and she is actually running live video of what I'm streaming right now. And part of that is being in Decentraland. Do you have Ivan? Ivan, how's it going? We'll do a mic check on Ivan.
Yeah, it's good. How's it going?
Doing well, doing wonderful, doing great. Just kind of setting the stage, setting the room here. So
do I have to join on Twitter Space too, or it's just one?
The best way to do it, if you want to join on Twitter Space on your phone, just go there and I'll bet you up as a speaker, but just keep it on mute.
Okay.
The sound will come through mine, but you'll actually get more followers that way because then people will see you in the spaces, and then they'll be able to look above in spaces and actually see the visual of what we're actually looking at. And right now, it takes a couple seconds for the restream to come in. But if you are looking in, right now we are streaming live in YouTube. We are streaming live in Twitch. We are streaming live in Decentraland 2369, and also in Twitter Spaces here. If you just look straight up above, and it's also being retweeted and restreamed in on Paris Shilton as everyone looks up above. So thank you for listening. We're trying to make this into an interoperable metaverse so we can have live streaming everywhere, and all this gets recorded. So I appreciate the guests coming on this morning for me in Chicago, where it is just after 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And the time zone difference for some of these friends that I met in London, could be anywhere between, I think it's just right around that 6 hour mark. So good afternoon to my friends across the pond. Feel free to grab the mic, whoever wants to speak about the international language of Web3 and NFTs. And while you're speaking, I'm going to be pulling up your Twitter handle, your LinkedIn's, your link trees, and all that other things. So continue to talk, and I'll just be pulling up different mediums that we can view your awesome work with.
Well, appreciate, first of all, everyone being here, and thanks for having me, Cryptonova. It was nice to have you in London. Like you said, everything's international now.
You're right about that. It was great meeting you there, Cryptolander, and you brought the high stakes of fashion into the Web3 conversation at the Queen Elizabeth II Center in London. And with your hats and your knapsacks, backs. I mean, you're making some pretty cool stuff. And then pretty much from back in the day, I mean, it was introduced as one of the first digital collectibles as far as fashion is concerned.
No, I appreciate that. It was a great experience being there, meeting different various people. And yeah, I came definitely swaggered up, that's for sure. I came prepared. So I came fully prepared to show off in regards of like what I've been working on for the space in general, creating, and kind of excited, you know, how the evolution of this space is evolving so rapidly, especially when it comes to fashion. And yeah, as he said, when a year ago or so, when I started off with just a digital hat, or the idea of like a digital hat collection backed by a physical, and then it being a metaverse wearable item, that was just all an idea, and then that kind of came to life, and then that got created, and then the kind of idea just kind of manifested into a larger scale brand, fashion brand, with all, you know, we want to do for the space and innovative and everything else in between.
I mean, it's trying to be myself, a somewhat fashion forward person, and my son dresses me. You know, I mean, we did, you know, I believe we were fashion forward with getting a lot of looks, getting a lot of people that wanted to take selfies with us, you know, and we were kind of right there by the entrance where we were able to, you know, kind of be in a lot of foot traffic area, and, you know, being able to create those conversations and, you know, seeing that interaction just shows the growth in the space where people are fashion forward. Like for me personally, I know I get more likes, retweets, and clicks when people take pictures of my shoes, not the clown nose that you see in front of you when I'm walking around IRL, or that you're seeing here with the Avatar XYZ filters, but of the actual physical shoes that I forged from Artifact that I sport, you know. And some people are like, well, why would you forge those and wear those? Well, that's part of the culture. That's part of the same reason why people buy fancy rims and put them on their car. They drive them around so people can see them. So I sport those shoes, which were probably the most expensive things I've ever bought for clothes wise ever, like period, not even close. But in return, those came back with Clone X's. So it was a act and be an active participant and reap the benefits of those rewards from that. And seeing what you were doing with the hats and the other Web3 integrations with it just shows where this space wants to go as far as fashion. I mean, there was a whole track built on fashion at NFT NYC, which was in London. And it's just wicked to see that. And all part of that, you know, I said, like, hey, why don't you come on, talk about your product, talked about your history in it, because you were the first in there. Space Trader, nice to see you in Decentraland. Good to see you. And part of that was bringing you into Decentraland, into the metaverse, so you can talk about these things. So it's an open mic. It is fireside chat. So Art to Act, if you want to chime in with any questions. If you want to chime in with any questions. I mean, we're all here just to pass our names around in this space. And right now, we're talking fashion here in this community.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the invitation. It's great to be here. It was amazing meeting you in London. Actually, you were at the stage presenting in the floor that we went, so it was lovely meeting you there. And according to fashion, also, it was amazing to see how many people are turning this sector into NFTs. I saw a lot of people wearing full dressed with NFTs. It was amazing to see how everything is turning into the blockchain. And yeah, according to NFT London, it was indeed an amazing experience for sure. I really enjoyed being there. We wanted to. Are you guys going to New York?
I am definitely planning on heading to New York. I want to be all part of it. I want to be in the mix of what is happening in there. I enjoy it. Yes, I do.
Yes. We want to go too. Let's see if we meet again there. And yeah, according a little bit to our project and what we have shared on NFT London, we are more focused on the crypto art space. And it was lovely to share our experience to the audience, how we have created our initial core community with 150 artists. And it was only possible with this NFT community and the unification of people through NFTs. It's beautiful to see. So this is basically what we have shared in London, like our experience while creating and connecting people everywhere in the world, which is also matches the narrative that you started this space, like independently of where you are now connected, and that's the beauty also that NFTs has brought to the space.
Oh, I hate to cut you off, but I'm on the slide right now on art2act.io, and you represent over 50 countries, 150 artists,
Yeah.
and the unique experience, and that's what it's all about. It's really for me, it's not about Crypto Novo. It's about all my aliens, apes, and zombies. Anyone who wants to talk about something in a positive manner that's bringing art and artists and, you know, monetization behind it, because that is a huge part behind this. There's industry behind this, is having those people represented here. And you are just a huge aggregator of all of that information, curating from over 150 artists in 50 countries. I'm sorry, I got excited, but I wanted to point that out. You can see this visual medium at the top. If you just click on the top of the tweet up there, where it is Paris Shilton with this live video. Please retweet the room. Any questions, toss down in that little purple pill you see in the lower right. But go on. I want to hear more about this Art2Act.
Beautiful. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, it's the beauty of it, and it's happening. And also according to the monetization that you have shared too, it's like now we are really in the stage that we can really help people overseas, and that's the beauty of it. And coming from traditional markets, we know from experience that this was not possible to do, like to connect people overseas, giving the sense of belonging that you are no longer alone navigating in the market, you know, like now you can corroborate your ideas with others, and that's the beauty of being part of a community. And that's what we are doing in the sense of a mission, you know, besides all of the collection and the upcoming protocol that we are designing. The beauty that we see is that every single artist, the 150 ones, like they feel now part of it, and we are always pushing forward everyone's artworks, helping each other, and that's, for me, that's what's the most beautiful thing about NFT community, what we have bring together. And yeah, like I said, we are no longer alone navigating in an abstract market, you know. That's for me, that's the beauty of this space. Like we are now, everyone's belongs to somewhere, and we are a family. And yeah, let me just check, because I'm on my phone. I'm sorry.
Not a big deal.
I'm just clicking now. Yeah.
So how about so for the minting of this journey, what is entailed for that? You know, we have a Genesis pass here of 2,250 Genesis passes here. So what does that entail?
So yeah, this is a collection that we are launching, and this is like the kickstart of something that we are developing. So we are developing a tool in Ethereum that facilitates the creation of NFT memberships and collections. It's a new way for artists to connect with collectors and new audiences. So providing them exclusive pieces and receiving like a percentage up front, so you will be more assured. This like gives financial security to artists and unique experience to collectors. So to kickstart this development, we have created this initial core community of 150 artists, and we have launched together a Genesis collection. That's what is the collection about, with 2,250 NFT passes. So each pass is connected to the upcoming tool. So it will provide first access to new memberships, first access to using the tool, etc. And it's a way in the sense that it starts to showcase all mediums of expression that it's been used in the space. You know, like we have 55 countries represented, which also matches our mission. Like we want to support artists independently of where they are and independently of the medium of expression that they do. So that's what the collection is about. It's like connecting people through art and through our upcoming platform. And the platform is going to be like it's this tool that will facilitate NFT memberships for artists. So, artists normally they ideate something, they create, and then they sell. But normally, the majority of artists, they don't sell. That's a reality, So we grabbed this information and we started to understand, what if we start changing a little bit this process and provide them a tool where they can find a little financial security before they start their creations. And this is only possible if you start finding your most loyal collectors, like people that really are interested in what you are doing. So people that really wants to be a part of what you do. Is not like buying a one-on-one and eventually sell it after 1 year or so. That's also great, but what we understood was that it's also needed a space that you can also provide the new patrons of the new artists, and that's what we are doing. Create a membership, a subscription model, let's say, on Web3, where you can subscribe to other artists and then work with them, helping them towards the release. And that's what we are doing.
Check it out I have it on Instagram right now, or you can pull up the, beautiful pictures that they have here, but also Linktree. Just their Linktree brings it to the OpenSea, brings them their LinkedIn, brings them the IG, their Instagram, and then also their webpage, which we were just thumbing through as you were speaking here. And then also up at the tweet, give their pinned tweet, which we have up there on our pinned tweet, a retweet. So you could show and show off this Genesis collection, this subscription base. It's almost a little bit of a loyalty program to all the international artists that you are featuring throughout these 50 countries and 50 plus countries and 150 artists. And with there, it shows the key ambassadors to this space, from Mental Noise to Mark Kelly to Santiago. Maybe a little bit about where you find majority of these artists. Are they mostly like the UK? Are they Central America? Or is this just a global collection?
Global, overseas. And a big shout out to Paulo. He's here. Paulo is listening to us, an amazing generative artist, a core member of Art2Act. So a big shout out to Paulo to be here listening. So the 150 artists are everywhere, like from Europe, US, South America, Australia, New Zealand, like everywhere, and to be honest, this all started with a cold approach. That's the beauty of it, like we started understanding and like contacting people. We are doing this. Are you interested on being part of it for the future of the project? Like, be pioneers with us, being like ambassadors of what we are doing. And that's what the 150 artists are. They are ambassadors of our project. And that's exactly what we have told and explained on NFT London. Like, the creating culture where we are all protagonists. Like, the 150 artists are with us from the beginning. We started in May, so it's been an amazing business development effort. And it took a lot of time, a lot of effort from our time and from the artists as well. They have created exclusive pieces for the collection. So it was like a cold approach, but since artists started to understand exactly what we were doing, like they started to come up and they felt connected with a mission. And that's, like I said from the beginning, the beauty of it. Like, they felt part of an NFT community that is here to make a change. So yeah, it was like this that we started.
And, it is great having those connections, getting out to London and really like solidifying, talking about what you're doing in the space, and branching. That's like the whole thing, is that communication aspect, is now that you can go to a conference where there's, 2,000 people that you can send that message off. And if it wasn't at the primary stage that you spoke at, it was the lobbies of the hotels, it was the after events in the pubs, it was the the speaking VIP dinner before all this began. So all those little things add up to the community, and it's boots on the ground, as they say in some in some terms where you're actually there to communicate with what other community members want, and also to network to get your community members seen. And that is a huge part of it. And, if that's in any aspect, I want to bring in Ivan here because I want to kind of loop all this back into like NFT London and just the experience of what we had there. So, Ivan, daily grind, art dealer, entrepreneur, co-founder. What else do you want to talk about us, Ivan?
Well, firstly, thanks very much for bringing me onto this space. Really excited. Great meeting you, Crypto Novo at NFT London, but also Art to Act. Oh, I think it was Thomas who was speaking. I think what you guys are working on is super exciting, and if you don't have time to ask further questions after this, I'm very keen to sort of pick your brains on the art world, because I think as Crypto Novo explained, my background has been in the art world. So I started off as an art investment, effectively doing an art investment business, so being an art dealer sort of 8 years ago. So when the first phase of NFTs came out in 2020, I think that was an area where I really sort of just fully understood what was going on. What effectively the first wave of NFTs was a highly accelerated version of what the art world was. What happens in what takes 5 years in the art world can happen in sort of 5 days, 5 minutes, 5 seconds in the NFT space. Super exciting. So my journey has been sort of quite varied, but I'm currently the founder of Signal. So we're a Web3 consumer intelligence platforms, essentially, delivering data to brands and businesses to help them into Web3, into NFTs. What we found is a lot of brands really need data points to give them sort of confidence and validation on how to approach this space. So what we do is effectively take them on a top-down approach, starting off with sort of key industry trends, say if you're a fashion or automotive or even sports brand, for example, starting off with what are the key industry trends and really taking them down on a sort of top-down approach. So it really gives them a nice step-by-step approach versus jumping into sort of the big dark world of Web3 and NFTs.
Yeah, that data analytics and actually finding out what you can do with what this Web3 world has, because everything is on chain. Nothing can really be hidden or lied upon. You see it time and time again from that. And it's actually what you do. So then you can, one, maybe reach to your consumer or the people in your community, or two, if a brand's looking out for it, like how would you engage that a lot better? And I'm seeing some retweets here from Blockbar and a couple other things that, are doing, parallel things in this space. So, with your time are you in London right now? I'm sorry to
yeah,
ask.
based in London. Yeah.
So, I mean, just having that influx of people networking at NFT London, is part of that, finding out where people are congregating and how popular these events are on a global scale. Because I was shocked to believe how many people actually were at NFT London and how, big Web3 is and NFTs are, globally, especially when you hear like, things are in a down market, things are in a bear market, man, things are in a bull market. Like it would have been scalping tickets out front type thing,
Yeah, 100%. I think it was actually it was a really refreshing experience, because I think that the last 2 weeks, we had NFT London, then the week after you had Token 2049. So it's effectively 2 weeks of, crypto events or Web3 events back to back in London. And I think in this, I hate calling it a bear market, winter, whatever you want to call it. I think it's really refreshing because the people you meet are trying to do something genuinely exciting, thoughtful use cases versus simply building something and slapping the word Web3 or NFTs on it and hoping for the best. Whereas people are actually excited about the technology, understanding why this technology can solve a problem. And I think this is all very positive for the industry, and it's as we said, so we've got to build together.
It is positive, and yeah, I've been through, seeing what happened with Mt. Gox. So like, oh, everything's going to zero, this and that. And I sat back, patiently watched, seeing what was going to happen with the other exchanges, this, that, and the other thing, hack, take care of your own stuff, learn, but like that didn't directly affect me. It affected the markets majorly. I use that as a learning tool, saying like, well, if something like this happened again, is it time to be bold and maybe enter in the market, because I saw markets are generally cyclical, and none of this is financial advice. You're listening to someone with a clown nose and a tassel hat behind an AR filter. And here's a plug for Avatar XYZ filters. Perfect time to plug an artist. And this is what it's about for us. There's an artist that we have found along the ways that have helped create these Avatar XYZ filters. And they can just go on top of your NFT. It can go on top of your Web3. It doesn't have to really be an NFT, I guess. It could be anything, even from the Web2 world. So you can make a name, a face, a voice for yourself, and you can see it out there with Spotty Wi-Fi, Apen Productions, a whole bunch of clones. I don't know. I think we're at like 20 apes, Bored Apes in there. We have G Money as a CryptoPunk ape, Bored Elon Musk, Mutant Apes. The list goes on and on. Fame Lady Squad, World of Women, Cool Cats. So if you want one of these filters, you know, that's what we're trying to do in the space. And like, I don't really make any money off of it. I get a free filter because I'm just giving the work to someone who's designing these things, and he's able to make it better for his family, which is also international and global. So it's one of those things that we're all in this together. And, you know, you were speaking about just being an art collector and an art dealer. I started off in this journey as a collector of just like comic books and toys I burned with a magnifying glass or buried in a sandbox when I was younger. And I saw the collectability of these CryptoPunks. And after getting in at an extremely low entry level, I wanted to make the most out of it. And that's what I did with it, is I made an AR filter out of it. I turned myself into a walking art project thanks to how my son dresses me. And I go to these IRL events to meet people. And I don't really make anything besides friendships and trying to help people in the space. And with that, I'm able to broadcast here in the Novoverse, if I can find the right button to pull actually us up in the Novoverse, to help others out so that they can spread the word about what they're trying to do in the space. So here we are in the metaverse right here, trying to make it interoperable so we could see it on Web2 platforms. If you look up on one of the pinned tweets, you can watch what we're talking about at Paris Hilton NFT. And you're listening in right here in this whole area, which is just wonderful and great, with, you know, good friends that I met in London, from Ivan to Arts to Act, you know, and then also the fashion forward, you know, with OGC, the NFT, Napback, you know, all those things come into the community effort of this.
Crypto, if I can throw a question at you, I'm very curious because I'm sure you've been to events all over the world, you know. I mean, how did you compare like the London vibe versus the NYC?
Here's the thing. I viewed it like, hold on a second, let me get a sip of water here. I viewed it very similar to NFT NYC 2021, where everyone was locked in. And think about it, that was like a year ago, like almost a year ago to the date. NFT NYC, I think it was like, you know, like 375 days ago, 380 days ago. And that was like, man, everyone was locked inside from COVID. Everyone was like down and blue and this and that. And like, you know, that Halloween, because it was like the day after Halloween. I think Halloween was the Bored Ape party. Here, I'll pull my Bored Ape as I'm saying that. The Bored Ape party. And I remember like everyone had like FOMO of like not being there because they just wanted to get the heck out of the house. They didn't know what direction the world was heading in, but like you had that little breath of freedom. So like people are able to like get out and let their hair down and not worry about something for a while. And that something was whatever it was. Maybe it was your job. Maybe it was whatever is happening in the space. Granted, things were accelerated within communications and discords in Web3 access. That kind of was the catalyst of NFTs. But I saw a lot of that in London prior to it, where a lot of projects were a little bit down because they weren't getting good traction. They weren't getting good numbers as far as tweets and likes and Instagram. But when they got there, they talked about their passion. And that's what it was, is it was inspiring that, hey, we're grinding through this. Maybe this is the best time to build right now. You know, maybe this is the best time to communicate and network with others. So there was apprehension going in just due to people's uncertainties. But once you're there with like-minded individuals, I saw that snowball effect by the end of it. Like people aren't really thinking of it at all. They were thinking about their projects, what their goals were, what they're grinding at, what they're trying to achieve in the space. So like my overall impression on it, it was good for the industry. It's good for the people in that room. It's good for the people in Europe, the EU in London to have that. Cause like you guys are dealing with a bunch of crap over there that we're not dealing with in the States for multiple things, multiple reasons. And it's just going to make you stronger. It's going to shake out the weak hands.
Yeah, completely agree.
Even with the GTX stuff, like I just view it like Mount Gox. Yeah, a whole bunch of people got screwed, but those people are going to learn from those mistakes. People who are opinionated that don't even have any skin in the game are going to learn from those mistakes. And then when it comes around again, they're like, hey, well, I'm smarter than the next guy. And they're going to maybe toss their hat in the ring. But that means we're onboarding people. And there's discussion about it. And there's regulation. You need regulation. You just need it. There's no way around it when you're dealing with this amount of funding and funds and, people's names and namesakes. There needs to be up behind that. So, Ivan, to answer your question, long-term, long-winded, I think it was important for it. I think it actually showed the strength of the people who actually showed up and tossed in time and money into it, and they might have lost time and money into it, but they learned through that experience. So the next time this bull wave comes through, because it will, there's ebbs and flows in everything. There again, none of this is financial advice. They are smarter from what they learned in the past. Just like Web 2, all the same stuff happened in Web 2, the .com era. Oh, I bought whatever, MySpace instead of Facebook, like that happens with everything. I bought AOL instead of Google. I bought this instead of that. It's the same thing, choose your own path, but buyer beware always. That's why I'm just trying to take one NFT and just making a name for myself and having fun with my friends. And that's what it is at the end of the day.
Nice one. Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, you just got to have fun in life, right? Otherwise we'll be stressed out. But I mean, I just see every like major event as almost like a blessing in disguise, like, there's FTX blowing up last week. Yes. I mean, it's caused a lot of shock to everyone, but as you said, this has from there, exchanges have got sort of proof of reserves out. That's a very nice, transparent system now. But I think also the greater thing, which I'm actually super excited, is it's going to drive more people to take their crypto off the centralized exchange and then get it onto their wallet, the MetaMask, effectively.
Man, now you're talking smart. That's like
Exactly.
self-education through error.
Yeah. And now everyone is ready. Everyone's got their wallet ready to go. So, when they've got to plug into a DApp or whatever, they're ready to spend versus the money being locked up in exchange doing nothing. So I think we're at a very exciting rotation point, is all I can say.
That is a super good point you just brought up right there, is that, like people getting the stuff off of it. Because one thing I talked to Patricio about from POAP, and for those of you who did not get a POAP because we were in a basement that didn't have Wi-Fi to get the POAP when I met you, just DM me with your wallet address or drop a tweet anywhere and I'll send you some wearables. But is that wallet integration? And Patricio from POAP says like, hey, we're ready to go. We're ready for the wallets to catch up with the technology, because right now it is kind of clunky. And I'm not going to blame Apple for everything, but like, just think of the catalyst if Apple just has a clear air-to-go wallet that's just on your phone that has whatever retinal recognition of your face for it to open up your wallet. Like now you're onboarding everyone with an iPhone into instant access to a wallet. I know you can get it through apps, but like people want that even easier access, so you're not having to even click 2 buttons to get to it. It just goes in. And that was one of the technologies I was messing around with was the POAP. The POAP IYK device, where it's just like a card that just taps on your phone and it drops you a POAP NFT just instantly. And that was just like some cool technology that you're able to use in that space and have fun in that space. Any question? Go for it.
Oh, sorry. I I was going to say, I remember that device. We were having a laugh saying, there's your seed phrase gone.
It is, and that was like one thing I was a little bit hesitant about even attaching my phone to it, and I do have a burner phone for that very reason.
Yeah.
A travel
You
phone,
mentioned that, but
and right now what
it's the way-
we're looking at right now is what you're sharing on your screen, because you have some of that similar technology going on with your wearables, where you have different integrations going on with how it's very Web3 characteristics. So right now I'm looking at, it's time to select the originals right there. So I want to talk a little bit about that.
Sure, yeah, please. It's the current campaign that's going on right now with the OGC branding marketing. As a person from the space, from the community, wanted to kind of look at the community back and see, who's been engaging, who's active, who's supportive, who's kind of leading different parts of industries, and wanted to see who wants to be a part of the early movement of OGC. So it's a simple kind of campaign where people tweet at the bottom, comment below why they want to be considered, and then the first 25 will kind of be selected. We're already on, I think we've selected 22 individuals so far. And once we get to 25, they will kind of get early access invite to the OGC Discord, which isn't even open yet, see exactly what OGC plans to do, what we're looking to create, how we're looking to kind of work with the community, creators, artists, builders, and kind of bring, that new wave of fashion forward into the space. Like the OGC has a motto, which is lifestyle, culture, and Web3. And then that's what we kind of like want to indoctrinate and bring through the fashion. I always believe certain things in culture, like fashion, is has very impactful developments and stuff going on into the future. So from there, the 25, and what I want to also do is host an AMA with those 25 and people outside of the community, different projects, even like someone like yourself would be open to invite and check out what's going on. And then hopefully word of mouth, because I think nothing better than community and word of mouth is there's no better marketing than honesty and showing what you've got to the community, and let the community be your voices and let them be the people, that push your message on.
And that's what I'm trying to do here, is give that back to the community and the community members. So when you want to do that, you can have those same people come here whenever you have it. We'll just stream it live in the metaverse, because that's actually, I don't know if you heard the snapshot. I took a picture of you speaking in the metaverse right now. We have used the Crypto Lander right there. We have the OGC collection right there. That's collections with an SOG that you can check out and get in. And that's what it is rewarding those community members. It's almost like a self loyalty reward program here.
And the membership itself, as in like the utility behind it, I really want to bring in real utility. And everyone says they have utility in their own ways without being not disrespectful whatsoever. But I myself, as someone that's more of a consumer of the space, like you said, I started off being literally just as a collector. I really want to make it impactful, i.e. give you almost like real life traditional experiences if you were with if you shop with a favorite brand or a store or any other kind of department as such, and really see how far I can bring that as wide as possible to the OGC members, those early members that kind of come on board by having early access to drops, other brands and services. And I want it in the future, for example, have that membership really work for you in the real world. I genuinely said it, and I'll keep saying it out loud, but that membership pass one day will allow you to go into shops like H&M, etc., and allow you to get a discount on the same goods that you'll be able to buy, whether if it's digitally, physically, and so forth. So I want to really kind of emphasize how that will play a big role, and this one being the first Genesis, and it's a lifetime membership pass with a very small supply of 1,000. This is going to hopefully start the wave. And then the first drop that's coming from the OGC collection, and I showed you when we were in NFT London. It was my CyberCon wearing the same physical hat I was wearing.
I was about to say we have BLK Wolfgang down there. CyberCon's representing. I'm actually looking at that. We have that pulled up live video right now. That was what, 18 months ago? That was July 2021, beginning of July. CyberKongs, you have the slick box, and that's Dr. Bling Kongs right there, the doc in the house.
Yeah, that's that was the first identity persona, so to speak, I kind of took upon when I joined the space. The first community collection that took me and made it feel like it was a home to me, and then kind of inspired literally from there, using my IP, bringing it all together, and then spiraled on to working with the likes of Cloud White with his Axie Infinity, Rizzle with his Avatar, Eric, the creator and founder of Unofficial Punk, and a trash artist in the space, and a small community artist from the Druppies collection. And they were the first 4 people that allowed me to use their IP, create awesome snapbacks for them, custom box, and it became a digiphysical collection that also is a DCL wearable item. So once someone claims and buys a physical and redeems the physical, they will subsequently get a DCL wearable airdrop of the same physical snapback. And I would love to furthermore drop a few DCL wearables to you, and you can hopefully share it with your audience and the community. I'll definitely make sure to grab your East address after Nova.
Let's do this. Let's link up. Maybe we'll do a cross promotional giveaway. I'll give away some of mine to community, yours to my community. I want to talk about getting the Crypto Novo hat box going here, because this is some OG stuff. I mean, this is like 18 months ago, putting CyberKongs out. I didn't know this from you. Like, you had IP, like I got goosebumps. You're using your IP the same exact stinking way I am here in the space, as just taking something that you've already established, trying to make a name for itself, and creating fun with it. You know, you have the doctor. He has that little doctor reflection mirror on his forehead. And then,
so if you can see on my screen, you'll see.
Hold on a second, let me pull it up. Oh, hold on a second, let me pull it up. All right, good. All right, you're good.
There you go. So so as you can see, like that's my CyberKong, Dr. Bling Kong, geared up with the same black bag you saw me that day, the banana chain, the same physical snapback, and these are going to be DCL wearables, and these are also going to be the first 3D wearable collections that we're looking to drop. The 2 chains that you see here, the gold chain and the silver banana chain, they are done by 2 guys named Funbags and Hector, who started up a Web3 jewelry brand service called House of Banana. And while building up the infrastructure and the brand, and they'll hopefully be launching off the platform as well and providing these 2 amazing wearable items for you to be able to equip and wear on your digital assets, 3D assets. And then you've got these brown and black bags, and this is one of our community member, who's also a guy who works at the OGC as our 3D animator, wearing his hat, his strap bag.
You had your strap bag on at the show at NFT NYC or NFT London.
Yeah.
Here's the thing with all this, my friend, is these all are GLB files. All those GLB files we can pull into augmented reality. We can pull into VR. You guys are already doing it in Decentraland. If you need help in Decentraland, we could pull that in Decentraland. But we can also just pull that into Sandbox, and we can be interoperable in Sandbox. And then not only that, we just find a screen in Sandbox, then we can be streaming the same content that you're doing with your OGs in there, just like I'm doing here. All it is a restream, not a restream link, but a what is it called? Can't think of the word right now, but it's just a link that I got, a stream link that I send you guys. You put it on any screen you want.
Yeah, honestly, it's the way, and I'm definitely looking forward to do things like that. We've spoken when we were there. We're both family men, father of five for me. So as you can see from how far back I've been working and building this up, this has started off like a sole venture, literally, with like no help, in the sense of like having the experience of networking. Literally started as a sole person that came into the space by myself, in the NFT. That is, I was in crypto from 2007, but in 2021, like the January 2021 is when I decided, like, okay, I'm gonna go and buy some NFT. I'm gonna join the community. I'm gonna learn about this space and see where this takes me. And that's how I kind of literally come up, so to speak. So I'm expanding my network. I'm grateful to the people that I connect with and meet, and obviously have the opportunity to kind of hopefully work with and work along with in the future. And even love to work with you and create some like Crypto Novo hats, you know what I mean? And more designs, like so much more I plan to hopefully do and create. But as everything is, there's steps to it. I'm not rushing it. I'm definitely planning to be here and look at the long-term scheme of things, and then looking to just build accordingly and naturally in a way where it's fulfilling and long-lasting.
That's right. And it's fulfilling. And part of that was that social engagement. And you know what? We would have never crossed paths, never had this conversation. I'm pretty sure I was following you prior. No, I was following you prior, but just to have that, like, IRL experience, to actually talk to the person of seeing what's behind it, and like, kind of cutting through the crap from other conversations that might go through that's hidden behind Twitter, and actually see who the actual person is important of that. Make sure you're taking a look. I'm thumbing through the different hats that we have going through here. And yeah, we'll definitely have to set aside some time to. Yes, that was a video from it. Slam, I want to bring up Slam here real quick. Slam, go for it. Thank you for being so polite and raising your hand. I love it.
How's it going, guys?
Good to see you again, my friend. How have you been?
Yeah, I'm good. Do you know, when I heard CryptoLander speaking, I remember CryptoLander, we were standing in the foyer, remember?
I recognize your voice instantly. As soon as I heard you talk, I was like, oh, that's my guy there from NFT London.
Yeah, as soon as I heard you, I was like, oh, that's the guy with doing the hats and stuff. Like, yeah, man. And Chris is in here as well. You know the guy who was with me, the Portuguese guy, Chris Bond. He's here as well.
Yes, I see him right there in the crowd. Nice to see you there, Chris.
He's doing like similar stuff to you, isn't he? So, but yeah, man, we've been working hard, mate. But we build spaces. We're building spaces for clients and stuff like that, like in space or any OpenGL platform. But we've also got like the watches and stuff like that. So like with Novo, like something I'd love to do is actually like display them in AR. So like what he was just saying with your stuff, for people to actually interact with them as well, which would be amazing.
Live business meeting. This is generally what I do on Wednesday nights in Welcoming Wednesdays. And we do have these live business meetings because, I mean, there's not enough time to connect. I mean, these are 4 or 5 alphas here in the same room at the same time. But it is that, like, thinking of like what Pranksy did. Like, how could we maybe approach like a loot box for this? A digital watch, a physical and digital hats, wearables from the Novoverse, a place to put them, a place to display them. In multiverses, we can go into Sandbox, we can go into what Lux is doing in the digital realm. I got Decentraland all lined up. These are all things that are capable, and it is that line of communication and how we draw that up. And it does start with us sitting there right in front of NFT London. And here's the picture right now. I'm pulling it up right now. If you're watching on the live feed up top, it is down in November 3rd. And I do remember that specific picture. Actually, that was even the night, even before we linked up with OGC. So that was, a combining experience that just, speaks volumes of why it's important to go to these places and these events. Chris V, if you want to speak about that same interaction and same connection, feel free to chime in.
Oh yeah, I was just looking for, I actually have a picture where we are all together. Me, you, Crypto, Slam, what's her name, Pam, the lawyer from Franksy. I was looking for it to actually send you, but
I'd love to pin that tweet. I'd love to put that on the top tweet, but that was yeah, like we're hanging out there with Pranksy's lawyer, talking about like what is happening in the space, seeing how we can help each other out, seeing how it works to be that true community, and you can't do that by sitting on the sidelines. So like, I guess like theme of this show is like getting out there and talking and communicating, and being with others. I got Slam and I up there on the top tweets. Feel free to retweet that, rehash some of the prior experiences that we had in this space. But that's what it is. I mean, it's about connecting with all types of people here. Drip Baller, Drip Baller, not to go on a side tangent, but Drip Baller, I saw your art featured on the cover of OpenSea. Congratulations on that, my friend. Thank you for the listening. Drip Baller's listening down there. Longtime listener in the States. Just brushing up on his NFT international language here from the OGC membership pass that CryptoLander is presenting right there from Slam. Reaching in and just kind of rehashing exactly how it went down. Ivan, the collector in the space, being there firsthand to see the interaction going on, and then Art to Act official, art2act.io, where it is bringing all those artists, the 150 artists from the 50 countries on stage to be presented live. And not only that, the amplification of that, like soon NFT London will have our speeches readily available on YouTube so other people can watch it and have it. And then we can make micro content out of it. But then it also drags the purpose of next time they do come to London, are you guys going to show up in New York and spread the notion over here in the States? Is there activations in Art Basel? So these are all things that all help the community in general. And for me, in my mind, it's about education and onboarding others. And even if it is having that communication factor of, hey, this is a bull market, what does it look like? Hey, if this is a bull market and this is what it looks like, and Ethereum only dips down to $1,000, $800, well, in 2020, when I bought my Ethereum for $200, followed by 12 CryptoPunks for $200 a piece, then maybe you should be a shark on blood when there is blood in the streets. Not financial advice, but, if you're going to have to, when are you going to put some skin in the game if you're going to put skin in the game if you're sitting on the sideline? When it goes to zero, then what is it good worth? So there might be people complaining. People always complain. I try to view the glass the opposite direction in almost every comparison. So if people are super bullish, I started exiting. You can read my wallet, see when I started selling stuff. It was in May, June, July. That's when I was exiting the field a little bit. Why? Because I was a little bit overexposed in my total portfolio, but my entry point was so minimal, and I'm so thankful. And it was from friends like you guys, all the aliens, apes, and zombies that go out there and tell me, hey, take a look at this. Hey, beta test this. Hey, go through this process. Learn about this. I've lost things. I've gained things. But the main part is communication and knowledge. I want to open up the field to anyone else that wants to speak. Also, I didn't get Joe Griff on right now, the founder of Chadverse, but I want to loop in back with them. They have a strong community. Maybe I have to start doing more of these Saturday shows to help the international friends over there get the voice out there, because I generally hold off to 9 at night because that's when the kids are in bed, because I am a family man. Saturdays are a little rough because the kids are playing right now, but sometimes I got to take care of a little bit of business. But for the fireside chat, open, ask me anything to anyone in the room. Feel free to ask a question to someone, speak, talk about anything.
Right, I'm with you on the family side of things, Novo. It's fitting this in around a suitable time when it doesn't affect your family too much. Because obviously it's important to give them time as well. That's very important, especially when they're young.
It's an important balance, but with that, we're doing it together. As far as this family aspect, my son did pick up my CryptoPunk. He does know what these things are. I did buy a CryptoPunk for my wife for her Valentine's Day present. There again, it was a couple $100. Don't get me wrong. Okay. I mean, I'm not sitting there, you know, not spending these prices on a Valentine's Day present, though she's worth it. So they give me approval to go to these events and these things. My wife works as well, but this is hopefully, if he wants to go in that direction, a little bit of his legacy and a little bit of what he can do in this space. If he wants to take a PFP project and play video games and show it off, like all the VTubers that he's watching, I'm there for him. I'm there to help him out with that aspect, because that's very Web3. And heck, I mean, 20 years ago, people would frown upon a YouTuber because they wouldn't even know what it is, because I don't even think cell phones were even around back then. But now, into this day and age, people make careers out of it. I'm making a voice for myself and helping my friends in the space. I'm going to bring another friend up. Joe Griff, how's it going?
Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, I got you perfectly, my friend. Founder of Chadverse. He is also in Restream as well. Thank you for linking in with Restream. What Restream does is it broadcasts this live on anyone's feeds that want to go live. So we are broadcasting live in Decentraland. That is 2369. That is the Novoverse. And just bringing friends up, to talk about their projects and the building of a community. And you have a strong community following, not only for yourself, but your community members here in the Chadverse. And I love comics, I love animation, and this just mixed both blends of that.
Yeah, well, we did, I'm not sure if, I think most of the people who are here now, I have attended NFT London, but I'm not sure if they've seen the skit that we've done.
No, I actually have not.
You were there.
The skit. Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah. So we've been doing flash mobs in Oxford Circus, in Piccadilly Circus, almost. We've done it. We've done one a few, and people just love it, But that's our entire goal, to basically present a DeFi story in Web 2 by the use of comic book storytelling.
That is brilliant. And yeah, I was out front. I randomly walked out, and it was a flash mob dance going on. And a little background upon myself is I was a physical education teacher up until about 18 months ago. I teach dance as a huge unit. It is crazy to believe, when I was in junior high, elementary school, I wouldn't say I despised dance, but I would rather play dodgeball with volleyballs and basketballs. That's what it was back in the day before people started suing each other. But then it evolved and grew into dance, where you've seen in YouTube and TikTok videos, I wouldn't imagine myself in 50 years dancing with my friends, but now everyone's doing it, waiting for the bus, doing it as part of a curriculum as a gym class, and filming it and showing it off. And that's what kids are doing nowadays. But now evolving that into what you guys are doing, it into a comic book story, which we're actually playing live right now. It's actually playing live in the metaverse. So your video is going live in the metaverse. I don't have the sound on because I'm blabbering over the top of it. But the flash mob caught my eye. I started recording it. That was one of my highest engagements from that whole event. Other people there were recording it, and I can't even remember if you were performing. I don't think you were recording, but someone was standing next to me. I don't know if it was Tomas or Tom, but it was super wicked, super awesome.
Yeah, it's an international language, dance, music. It's a language that everyone can understand and can relate to. And by the way, what we're doing is we're doing a free mint, basically. And the reason why it's called Chadverse, that we're in a bear market now. And people who are still here, who are still building, they're proper alphas, they're proper Chad. And so the whole idea is that we're going to have all the Chads remaining in the bear market. So it's a free mint, guys. If you want to participate, feel free to join our Discord chat. We're still prepping up all the comic book launch. We'll launch it on January, and hopefully we can get some more active community members by that time.
Damn, man, you guys got 15,000 retweets on it. I don't know how many tens of thousands likes on it.
With all the Web 2 comic readers, but we're still struggling to turn them into, to educate them on how to convert to be a Web3 native, basically.
That's right. I mean, man, you got some cool, wicked things going on. I'm going to pin that up there on the top so everyone can take a gander at it. Please like, please subscribe, please follow. Cause I mean, like you said, these are the OGs that stick around through the thick. So like, if you want to have a good foundation of maybe an NFT in your wallet, if you want to have a good foundation of community members to follow, to track, to be around, these are the people that are continuing to do it, even though when times are tough. So think of when times are strong, what's going to happen is that snowball effect is going to turn into pretty much a snowman, multiple layers of just that, man. I'm reliving the imagery right in front of the Queen, the Queen Elizabeth II, or the QE2 Center right there, and then a couple areas that I was actually luckily able to walk by because I take things for granted, and these NFTs have provided a wonderful opportunity for me to see parts of the world that I would never be able to afford to see, never be able to even think about seeing 5 years ago because this technology didn't exist. Digital collectibles weren't out there. These ways of communicating with people was just more difficult than it was for what it is now, where we can hop onto spaces where I can visibly show the dance moves that are going on as you're talking about it and relating, stories between this. And to dance for 5 minutes that you guys is doing takes more than just choreograph. This is physical, mind, body, and spirit, all culture involved in it. Everyone's smiling their asses off while they're dancing, while they're looking at it, while they're producing it. And it just stops time for a little bit, this live entertainment. And it's all linked into Web3. So this is IRL at its best in Web3.
Yeah, and it's all related to the main ethos of what we're doing, which is community building from ground zero, community building from during the bear market. And, it's free mint. We don't want to look like that we want to make money out of this on the get-go, but rather, what can you build during a bear market? If we can prove that, like in a year from now, that we're still building whatever the market situation is, and that we're still building a community, and that just proves that there's that there's a solid community in crypto. Whatever happens, or whatever happened, like FTX, giving a tint to the crypto culture. I think we should work together to give people, Web2 people, another perspective on what is there in the crypto market. It's not just centralized exchanges. There's Novoverse, there's cool community culture, and there's lots of things are going on.
There's wonderful things going on, including a meeting for myself in 15 minutes so I can keep on progressing this space. I'll be open about it. I'm speaking with Larry from Oasis NFT, which I met in London, and he was one of the engaging speakers up there. Or he has a metaverse going on. We're going to see how we can get more interoperable metaverse to see if we can get this Novoverse streamed on his platform and vice versa. What I'm going to do with this exact same group of speakers that are up here right now, and I'll get CD, I'll get you up there, Camera Divine, here in 1 second, is I'd like maybe to see if next Saturday we can do this same thing. Over here on this side of the pond, we have this thing called Thanksgiving. I often forget that people often don't celebrate all the American holidays. But next week, my son has the entire week off of school. Hooray for him. But I will have some work, but maybe we can loop in on next Saturday and continue this conversation, but maybe turn it into events in Decentraland where we can maybe show off each one of your crafts a little bit more and have it more of a show and tell where we can spend a little bit more time, because I felt super rushed here and there's a lot to talk about. This is more of talking about us rehashing what happened at NFT London. I want to get this crew into maybe bringing up some artists from Arch to Act to talk about some of the pieces and where to find those pieces and how to purchase them. Maybe I can pull in Joe and the Chadverse, and we can re-show that same video, but premiere it and feature it just a little bit more, and show what it takes to create that. And you can get maybe some of the dancers or choreographers in it. Crypto Lander, myself, and Slam. Maybe we can get the formation of a loot box going of how it does. Is maybe tie it in with a can't think of the technology, like a Mint Pass type of thing where people connect a wallet and then they can get a wearable from me, a wearable from Slam, a wearable from Lander. And, maybe that does onboard them to getting a physical from something that we haven't produced even yet. And from Ivan, from the collecting standpoint, just pulling in aspects of what this community wants and is seeking and needing there. I want to pull up Camera Divine. I know you've been waiting patiently. Thank you. If you want to come in next week and show off for some photography, some poetry, talk about making good for all the aliens, apes, and zombies in the world. What do you have for us on this Saturday?
I'm here. I wasn't sure if you were closing up or if I can kind of just introduce myself and maybe just talk about my project and whatnot, just briefly, if that's okay.
How about you lead into it? Maybe we can branch you in. On Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Central, we do some shows, so we can definitely bring you in then. And then also next Saturday, we can just pull the same thing in. But I'm going to be pulling up your Twitter handle right now. But go ahead, talk away, my friend.
Okay. Well, I always introduce myself first because I always want people to know the artist and the person behind this PFP. I'm CD, also known as Camera Divine. I'm a photographer and a poet, and that's just kind of what my project is all about. I make these really interesting photos that just come with like a story, and then I add unlockable NFTs to my project, and that's just something interesting that I kind of did. At the moment, I'm just working on my series, which is called 3 Weeks at NYC, and it's just like all about me taking my camera around, New York, which is my hometown, and just, diving into New York, just showing all the things that people that have not visited New York would see, and just, going to Cat's Deli and getting, that roast beef sub, to, seeing the billboards of New York City, to, going to the Brooklyn Museum, because on the first of the month, the Brooklyn Museum has this big art party show just for creatives, to, just seeing the perspective of New York City, to taking the subway from the L train to, to all the way to Manhattan, or if you wanted to go to Brooklyn or to the Upper West Side, and just that's what kind of the perspective of was when I was taking these photos, to kind of just, photograph life and just humans doing what humans do, which is, work and have fun and live and just like everything in between. And that's kind of just all that my series was just a little bit about. I'm
not going to cut you off. This might be the perfect audience for it because, a lot of these friends in this space today are from London and maybe have not traveled the pond, as they said, or taken the Mayflower over. So it does give great insight into it. And to tell you the truth, like outside of maybe having a layover in London, in New York, I, up until working at Vayner 3, have never really traveled and seen New York at all up until my recent experiences. And it opens my eyes to how big the world is, even including going to London and seeing aspects of I never even thought I'd imagine seeing in London. And it just makes you open your eyes to what else is out there. And you're giving perfect insight to what you may see every day that you might take for granted because other people haven't seen that. And to see like how tall New York is compared to how maybe historic London is. There's not very many tall structures in London. And even some of my friends who live in big cities is like, what do you think of Big Ben? I'm like, man, that was cool as heck. And they're like, it really wasn't that big. I'm like, yeah, but you live next to skyscrapers that are hundreds of floors, like Big Ben is huge compared to the landscape that they have there. Compared to like, man, if you were around when that thing was built, that thing would be a Goliath, one of the largest structures, to date back then. So like, it's cool to see the history of that. Sorry to cut you off, but it is like the whole strength of what is going. So I want to definitely get you on to talk about photography. I have a heart for it. I had a photographer come and follow me around NFT NYC and got great pictures of me when I was at Radio City Music Hall on stage. Go ahead.
No, I'm definitely open to it. Before you kind of like close up, I wanted to just like read a poem so people just kind of get a little bit of a background of just who I am and just my poetry, which kind of always ties into my photos.
I would love that. We have the picture of your pooch from your banner up right now. Please read away, and any title or anything, and the microphone is yours.
Okay, this is called Scared of Love, and also that photo, that's my background thing, is not my dog. That's my cousin's dog, and he's just really cute, so I have him as my banner. Anyways, this poem is called Scared of Love. I'm scared of love. I know I shouldn't be, because love is a good thing. Love can be complicated and maybe even overwhelming. Sometimes I get lost in my feelings and lose thought of who I am. Relationships can sometimes be destructive. People aren't always right and don't do the right things when it comes to love. Sometimes when I think of love, I get jitty and happiness spreads all the way to my toes. I don't want to think about love as it has hurt me so many times I can't help it. Maybe being alone for a while is okay as well, until the one you know in your heart finds you. Sometimes I feel like I have to find love when I know it should be the other way around. I'm scared of getting hurt all the time. Sometimes I just want to give up and not love anyone else but myself. That's it.
I love that. Don't give up. Things might be tough right now. It's for right now. Imagine how fast this space goes. I often compute it to dog ears, where 1 minute is equal to 7 minutes. Perfect picture right up there for it. You turn off your computer for 1 day, it's like turning it off for a week. Man, just think of what has happened in the past year up into this point. Rewind a year of where it was to where we are now. Think of where it's going to be next year if this is a quote-unquote bull market, if we are in a little bit of recession. Think of what's happening geopolitically, globally, and we're still fighting and going through this. We are all in a very good spot right now. There are others out there that are in need. We are the guardians of this galaxy. We have to foster good people in the space. We have to bring up and help others in sense that will make us stronger. That's what I'm trying to do, is make us all stronger. We can do that in multiple capacities, but we can't do that alone. That is for sure. I'm going to keep on bringing the good word right here. In the Novoverse, this song is made by I Am 6. The Novoverse is made by Mr. Dingia. There again, I don't make much. I just make friends and try to produce content. We're going to try to loop in with the same exact group this week. Law is the Saw. We'll get that AR filter out to you really soon. Until then, stay positive and love life. Always, always, always. I just want to thank all my friends. I brought it up just yesterday night to get them all on. So thanks for tuning in on such short notice. We'll tune it in. We'll have another Novoverse. We'll turn it into an event here in Decentraland. We'll get some wearables out. There again, the whole list of friends that tuned in. Art to Act, Joe Griff from the Chadverse, Slam, great to see you, Cryptolander. Let's keep building. Let's stay strong. And with that being said, stay positive and love life. Get those peace signs. Peace.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Peace out, dog. See ya.